The world of Japanese baseball, still reeling from the quiet calm before spring training, was abruptly shattered by a single, dark headline.
Ryutaro Haduki, a promising utility player for the Hiroshima Carp, was arrested on suspicion of violating the Pharmaceuticals and Medical Devices Act, specifically involving the use of a designated controlled substance.
The timing could not have been worse. Shedar. NPB had just intensified its drug abuse prevention seminars for rookies, yet here was a high-profile case involving a substance colloquially known by the deeply disturbing moniker zombie tobacco.
The substance in question is etomidate, a powerful sedative. While used as an anesthetic in some medical settings internationally, it is unregulated for medical use in Japan.
Its illicit use involves inhaling the substance via electronic cigarettes, leading users to exhibit zombie-like symptoms, flailing, staggering, and body rigidity on the streets.
This incident demands more than a superficial review of the facts.
It forces us to confront the unique pressures faced by professional athletes and, critically, the twisted, long-standing history the Hiroshima Carp organization seems to have with substance abuse and doping scandals.
Specifically, we must focus on the strange chronological convergence between Haduki's case and a past incident, a link that is now the subject of intense, speculative debate across the internet.
We intend to peel back the layers to understand the true psychological pressures within the professional baseball ecosystem.
The arrest stemmed from an incident around December 16, 2025, where Haduki allegedly ingested etomidate domestically.
The substance, only designated as controlled in Japan in May 2025, is extremely dangerous, carrying risks of consciousness disorders, full-body convulsions, and even death from overdose.
The timeline of the investigation itself is unusual. The initial tip came from an anonymous source.
Seda. Following the report, investigators arrived at the scene, and Haduki was requested for voluntary cooperation and questioning. A subsequent urine test returned a positive result.
However, the official arrest, including searches of his residence, did not occur until January 27, a full month later.
This significant time lag suggests a highly cautious and meticulous operation by the authorities, likely focused not just on the player, but on mapping the distribution network and confirming the supply route of this new, frightening drug.
Further complicating the narrative is Haduki's unwavering denial. Despite the concrete scientific evidence of the positive urine test, he reportedly maintains, "I don't recall using it."
Is this the typical psychological defense mechanism common in drug cases, or does it hint at a deeper, coercive factor, the possibility that his ingestion was not entirely voluntary, or that he was unaware of what he was consuming?
The ongoing police probe into the drug's procurement suggests investigators are not treating this as an isolated instance of individual curiosity.
This leads us to the heart of the matter, the Carp's unfortunate history. This is not the first time the organization has been linked to illicit substances.
We recall the 2020 arrest of former Carp pitcher Jay Jackson, then with the Lotte Marines, for possession of cannabis liquid.
But the true point of comparison, the one fueling intense internet speculation, is the doping suspension of former slugger Xavier Batista.
In 2019, Batista, then the Carp's key cleanup hitter, tested positive in an NPB doping check, resulting in a 6-month suspension.
Shedar. Because the timing is bizarrely intertwined with Haduki's career trajectory. Haduki was drafted in the autumn of 2018 and began his professional career in the 2019 season.
That rookie year,
The very period he was undergoing his professional baptism was precisely when Batista's high-profile doping scandal rocked the team.
Haduki was thrust into a locker room gripped by turmoil, media scrutiny, and the abrupt loss of their star player due to substance-related issues.
The online theories are rampant, suggesting this proximity exposed the young Haduki to the dark undercurrents of the clubhouse, potentially leading to subsequent habitual use.
Skedder. While these are pure conjecture, the psychological impact of that 2019 chaos on a vulnerable rookie cannot be ignored.
Professional baseball imposes extreme psychological burdens, the pressure for results, the grinding pain of injuries, the ruthless internal competition.
It is in these moments of desperation that an athlete might reach for anything promising an escape or a temporary reprieve.
Batista's case involved doping, a performance-enhancing substance. Haduki's case involves etomidate, primarily a sedative.
Skedder. The nature of the substances differs, but the common thread is the presence of designated illicit drugs within the team environment, a persistent shadow that NPB and the Carp organization should have eliminated years ago.
What educational efforts were truly implemented after the Batista incident? How did mandatory drug prevention seminars, like the one just conducted before this arrest, become nothing more than an empty formality?
This incident cannot be dismissed as merely one player's poor decision.
It highlights a systemic failure concerning the mental health care of athletes and NPB's inability to confront the wider societal problem of drug proliferation, especially with newer substances like etomidate.
A dangerous level of complacency, the feeling of, "it won't happen to me," has once again derailed a promising career.
Just as with the baseball gambling scandals, there is significant concern that Haduki was not operating in isolation, raising serious questions about the professional environment and the influence of external contacts.
The professional world is filled with temptations and traps.
What is urgently needed now is not just individual player integrity, but a systematic, organizational framework within the teams and NPB to ensure athletes are supported, not isolated, and that mandatory, unannounced drug testing becomes the standard.
The damage to the game and to the lives of young players is simply too high a price to pay for inadequate vigilance.